The Arctic, once a frozen barrier, is rapidly becoming a superhighway. This dramatic shift presents unprecedented challenges and opportunities for nations like Canada, whose northern territories are vast and vulnerable. Discover how NATO's evolving Arctic strategy, spearheaded by the Canadian Navy, is stepping up to protect national interests and maintain stability in this increasingly crucial region. Beneath the tranquil veneer of snow and ice, a silent struggle for control of the Arctic is intensifying. Forget what you think you know about traditional naval warfare. The future of security could well be decided at the top of the world. We'll reveal NATO's cutting-edge Arctic strategy and unpack the critical role Canada's Navy plays in defending the North against emerging threats. The Arctic is no longer a frozen buffer zone. It's opening up. Rapid ice melt is unlocking new shipping lanes and exposing massive oil, gas, and mineral reserves. Routes that once took weeks can now be crossed in days. That alone changes global trade. But power never stops at trade. Russia has turned its Arctic coastline into a militarized corridor. Old Soviet bases are back online. New ones are operational, and its fleet of modern icebreakers gives Moscow year-round access where others struggle to operate. The signal is clear. Russia sees the Arctic as territory to control, not a shared space. China, calling itself a near-Arctic state, is pushing its polar Silk Road. Through research ships, investments, and long-term infrastructure plans, Beijing is positioning itself to shape future Arctic rules without firing a shot. No battles, no declarations, just strategic positioning. The Arctic is turning into a silent competition zone between NATO, Russia, and China. As the ice retreats, influence rushes in. And that raises the core question for the next chapter. Who secures the North when the frontier is no longer frozen?
If the Arctic is becoming a pressure zone, Canada's answer isn't loud, it's persistent. Enter the Arctic Offshore Patrol Vessels, AOPS, led by HMCS Harry DeWolf. These ships aren't built for flashy naval battles. They're built for something far more important in the North: showing up, staying there, and being seen. Built for ice, not excuses. AOPS ships have ice-hardened hulls, allowing them to cut through first-year ice where traditional warships can't operate. Their long range and endurance mean they can patrol vast, remote areas for weeks without support, a critical advantage in a region where help is often thousands of kilometers away. This isn't about speed, it's about presence. Sovereignty through visibility. In Arctic geopolitics, sovereignty isn't just written on maps, it's enforced by regular patrols, surveillance, and response capability. AOPS vessels allow Canada to monitor shipping lanes, track foreign activity, support search and rescue missions, and quietly remind everyone that this space is not ungoverned. Every patrol sends a message: Canada is watching, Canada is operating, Canada belongs here. The strategic reality. While Russia builds bases and China plans for the long game, Canada's AOPS strategy focuses on control through continuity. No dramatic escalation, just steady, credible enforcement in one of the harshest environments on Earth. In the Arctic, absence creates opportunity. AOPS exists to make sure Canada is never absent.
The Arctic isn't guarded by one flag anymore. It's guarded by a system. As tensions rise, NATO has quietly reshaped its Arctic posture around three ideas: deterrence, defense, and cooperation. No dramatic announcements, just steady adaptation to a region that's becoming strategically crowded. From cold geography to hot strategy. For NATO, the Arctic is no longer a remote flank, it's a front line of early warning. Increased Russian naval activity and long-range missile capabilities mean the alliance must detect threats early, track them continuously, and respond collectively. The goal isn't escalation, it's making sure aggression never looks easy. Training for the worst, hoping for the best. Joint Arctic exercises have become more frequent and more complex. NATO forces now rehearse ice operations, anti-submarine warfare, air defense, and rapid reinforcement under extreme conditions.
These drills aren't symbolic. They test whether ships, aircraft, and crews from different nations can operate as one force when the environment itself is the enemy. Interoperability is the real weapon here. Why Greenland and the GIUK gap matter. Two locations quietly anchor NATO's northern defense. Greenland provides critical radar coverage and early missile detection, linking North America to Europe. Meanwhile, the GIUK gap, the stretch between Greenland, Iceland, and the UK, acts as a strategic choke point. Control it, and you can track or block naval movement between the Arctic and the Atlantic. For NATO, holding this line isn't optional, it's foundational. The bigger picture. NATO's Arctic strategy isn't about domination, it's about denying surprise. Making sure no single actor can quietly tilt the balance while the world isn't looking. And within this collective shield, Canada's role becomes even more critical. Not as a lone defender, but as a constant northern presence that ties national sovereignty into alliance security. In the Arctic, distance is deceptive. A missile launched thousands of kilometers away can cross the pole faster than any navy can sail to intercept it. That reality has forced Canada and its allies to rethink defense. Seeing first now matters more than reacting fast. Building a northern shield. Canada is steadily integrating advanced air defense and sensor systems across its naval platforms and northern bases. These systems aren't designed for dramatic shootdowns. They're designed to detect, track, and classify threats early, whether they come from aircraft, cruise missiles, or submarines operating under the ice. In the high north, information is firepower. NORAD's Arctic upgrade. At the continental level, NORAD is undergoing a quiet transformation. Aging Cold War-era radar is being replaced with next-generation over-the-horizon systems capable of spotting threats far earlier and across much wider areas. Alongside this, long-endurance drones are expanding surveillance where human crews and satellites have gaps. The goal is simple: no blind spots, no surprises. Why early warning changes everything. Early detection buys time, and time enables coordination. When threats are spotted early, Canada and its allies can share intelligence, reposition assets, and respond collectively rather than scrambling in crisis mode. This shifts the balance from reactive defense to predictive deterrence. The strategic effect. For potential adversaries, the message is subtle but firm. The Arctic is no longer a quiet backdoor. It's watched, mapped, and integrated into continental defense networks. And as sensing improves, so does deterrence. Because power in the modern Arctic isn't about who fires first, it's about who sees first. In the Arctic, power isn't measured only in ships, radar, or missiles. It's measured in restraint, legitimacy, and trust. Security without breaking what you defend. The Arctic is one of the most fragile ecosystems on Earth. Heavy militarization carries real risks: environmental damage, pollution, and long-term disruption. Canada's challenge is balancing credible defense with environmental stewardship, proving that security doesn't have to come at the cost of the very region it aims to protect. This balance matters strategically. A nation that damages the Arctic weakens its own claim to responsible leadership there. Indigenous communities, the first line of awareness. Northern Indigenous communities aren't just residents of the Arctic, they are its constant observers. Their knowledge of terrain, weather, and movement patterns is unmatched. Through partnerships like the Canadian Rangers, Indigenous perspectives directly support sovereignty, surveillance, and emergency response. More importantly, their voices ground Arctic policy in lived reality, not distant planning rooms. Sovereignty without local legitimacy is fragile. With it, sovereignty becomes durable. The bigger chessboard. The Arctic isn't headed toward open war, but it is entering an era of permanent competition. Military presence, climate change, global trade, Indigenous rights, and alliance politics are now inseparable. Canada's role sits at the intersection of all of them, not as the loudest power, not as the most aggressive actor, but as a persistent, credible, and responsible northern nation, one that understands the Arctic isn't just a frontier to secure, but a future to manage. And in a region where the ice is retreating faster than old assumptions, that understanding may prove to be Canada's greatest strategic advantage.